Hello everybody, welcome to Nature's People. Thank you for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is how is the border crisis seeming to be perpetual or never ending? Why is the border crisis in the southern border between the US and Mexico seem to be perpetual or never ending? And what are the repercussions of having such an extended amount of influx of migrants over a long run? All right, first and foremost, I have to say that the US has really had really tough and robust borders since the 1900s, after the acquisition of Texas. So Texas was a free nation, but it later on joined the Confederation of the US states, and with that that gave an empowerment for America as a nation to go conquer more territories, such as Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, up until New California. So following up with that, one of the things I have to mention is that surprisingly, throughout the years from the 1900s till in the 1950s, there wasn't really a mass migration of people from the south up north. One of the reasons is why there are temporary workers, generally in farmlands. The US economy was really robust, and one of the things that helped stabilize the influx of migrants was the fact that not many people were willing to come to America, because south of the border, most countries are actually they speak Spanish, and America is an Anglophone nation, so they had a really hard time integrating as far as culture, language, habits, and customs. So most of them, the seasonal workers that came, for example, for farming during summertime, they had a tendency of sending remittances down to Mexico, Central America, but they never really had an intent to stay because of the convenience and the tough immigration laws that were not that much integrating for people that sort of overstayed their status or came in illegally. Now, past the 1950s, we had the baby boomers. So the baby boomers is a period of time wherein America actually won the Second World War. For those of you who guys would not know, America won the World War II after they defeated Germany in Japan, the empires of Germany and Japan. And after they fell, America's economy was really strong, because one of the reasons that was so remarkable was the fact that there was a mass production mass uptick in manufacturing in the military complex. And one of the funny things, those of you guys, not many people know about this, but after America had won that war, because of the immense support that the US has given to the UK had to pay reparations, not sort of reparations, but sort of a payback for the help America gave for relating itself, or rather willing to intervene in a war that wasn't theirs. So from the 1950s up until 1960s, America had 70% of the gold, of all the extracted and refined gold in the world. So 70% of the gold, of the physical exploited gold and used gold, was in the federal reserves of the US. So now, with that being said, I have to follow up with a statement is the US never engages in anything if it's not going to gain back from it. So that's why they engaged in that war, and that's why they profited. Now, not going that much offset the conversation, following up with my point is, after the baby boomers, America made a lot of money after the Second World War. So because the economy was so robust and so good, there were really women returning from work, to their home. So there was a lot of female introduction in the workforce. However, it seemed to be to fall down the integration of female workforce in the system. So with that being said, the economy was sort of affected. So to resolve that, the government actually reintroduced or reintegrated women in the workforce to uptick production and the economy. However, one fun thing is, in the period where the women returned home, we're talking about in the 1950s till 1965, nearly the 1970s, there was uptick in fertility rates, like the births were rising, and the population was thriving and wealthy with kids and all. However, after women were reintroduced in the workforce, they had to start having less babies. Well, now many of you guys might be saying, so what does that have to do with immigration? Okay, I'm getting there. So with a low fertility rate, the government started feeling a really high need in workers, and America has always been skeptical in bringing people from these other continents due to national security and all that. So the people that were coming south of the border were easier to run background checks, evaluate and study over time, and that thing became a source of workforce for the government. However, seemingly and surprisingly, it never seemed to stop. From the 1950s, this is a fun fact, guys. From the 1970s, where the immigrants from Mexico, for instance, started coming to the U.S. from the 1950s till the 1990s, there were so many immigrants from Mexico that up to today, September 23, 2000 and September 22, 2023, Mexicans in the US have an ancestry of over 38 million. So just to put that in perspective, a third of all Mexican existing people live in the US. So there's so many immigrants. The wave of migrants from the US to Mexico was so huge, and it provided such a boost in the economical prospects and rise of the US that was really phenomenal and great. Now, with mentioning that, the immigrants never stopped. Actually, they kept on coming from Mexico. However, because the US has quotas, it had to stop sometime because of national security, cleansing of nation. Also, they had to integrate the nation and have it well solidified. The US started looking at new sources of immigrants, like Colombians, Central Americans, Brazilians, but all around the American sphere, to protect its robustness and its interest in the South and in the American sphere. Now, with that being said, the immigrants kept on coming and kept on coming and keep on coming. What are the repercussions of that over time? Well, that's definitely, absolutely going to reshape the US as we know of it, as we knew of it. The US in the 1970s and today, they are completely different countries. I mean, in the US today, you can have a third world vibe, a second world vibe, and first world vibe. You can make as much money with no degrees. You can be a no one and still be successful, regardless of your language skills, regardless of your knowledge, of your state of your state of mind. So it's a really free country, and now that means the US is really shaped by the native people, the Native Americans, the native people that are from the Americas, are the ones who are shaping the US. We have the African Americans, have the Europeans. So it's a really diverse nation and very robust. And you guys know diversity is strength everywhere. You look at countries such as Canada, Australia, they're really strong because they're diverse. One of the interesting things about diversity, it always brings inclusiveness. So people feel inclusive anywhere they go, and that's a very positive thing. Whenever you go to a place and you don't feel secluded and excluded, you have the will and drive to work, to fight, and to go after things and to get things done. So guys, on a final note, migrants coming out of the border, shaping the US is a thing that is well monitored, well tightly regulated. It won't pose any threat to the security of the US. I am pretty sure the federal government of the US knows what it's doing, and I'm really glad that happens. That's the final note. Thank you so much. Please share, like, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye for now. Peace.